My 15-year-old son was surprised when I read aloud my guest's bio sheet. Employer, Microsoft. Present occupation, Director, Business Development, Xbox Live. I picked this up off the floor in our rec room. It's just one evidence of a very present reality in our home, and I don't know whether to hug my guest or hit him. But very interesting occupation. Paul Jensen has been a business exec for many leading companies. He's traveled to 40 countries on 5 continents. He and his family have been on the move for the last few years. Beverly Hills, Dallas, Seattle, Washington is where he comes to us from today. Welcome, Paul.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Very fun career.
It's been a journey, a fun journey.
You're a games man?
I am. Yes, games are fun.
Yeah. Now, before this, even more interesting perhaps, you were vice president of Sony Pictures Digital in Hollywood.
Yes.
Your kids played soccer with Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer's kids?
Kids, yes. Yeah, it was a unique experience.
Wow,
yeah.
How long were you there?
I was there for about 3 years in Hollywood, and living in Beverly Hills. It was a unique experience, and I praise God that I was actually there after I kind of understood what the world really is and what it's about, because if I would have gone when I was much younger, I believe I would have been more wide-eyed in terms of what is Hollywood, in terms of kind of, wow, what a neat experience.
You talk about the dream machine.
Yes, absolutely.
And it sucked you in.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Well, it sucked me in as a child. When I was a child, probably more as a young adult, because it helped when I kind of walked away from God in a way. It replaced God in terms of directing how I valued myself, what I should put my self-worth in. It's amazing how movies could influence me and the way they have.
Your brother-in-law described you in a very interesting way. He said that you were a tough nut to crack, a human Superman.
Yeah.
What was behind that?
He's being,
definition?
I think nice.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah. I was very egotistical. I had a huge amount of pride that I wore in my back. That I was always trying to outdo any person, because I wanted somehow to make sure people, how they viewed me is how I viewed myself. And I think that's a fundamental flaw that we all do as human beings without having God in the center of our lives. And
so you were a performer, a pleaser, very capable man. What a career you've had.
Yes, I've been blessed. I've certainly been blessed. My only problem is that I use a lot of God's blessings to glorify myself rather than Him.
What were some of the other elements of your life not very many years ago? Motorcycles, big.
Motorcycle racing. Played soccer my whole life through college and after college. Bodybuilding, powerlifting, just martial arts, you name it.
You did it all.
Yeah, for a while.
Now, this all kind of came crashing down. And let me just say, you have a wonderful wife, Tiffany.
No, thank you.
2 children.
Yes.
Their ages are?
14, soon to be 14 and 11.
Jake's the eldest?
Yes.
And Audrey. Boy, you had it all. April 2002. Take us there.
In April 2002, I actually have to back up just a tiny bit, if you don't mind.
Please.
That, I grew up young, a strong Christian, and then at the age of 16, after many moves, I ended up walking away from that path to kind of pursue the world, and I spent about a decade and a half away from God, where movies and music and TV kind of defined who I was and who I thought I should be.
You're telling me in the green room, I've just got to add this PS because it's an insight to me. 6th grade, you had an experience with God, very real, first time. And then, not long after that, a real vision for becoming a missionary.
I felt led to be a missionary as a kid. And it really was a strong calling that I told everybody, and I really felt it in my heart. And it was amazing after just, I guess, going through peer pressure and high school and just so many things, I ended up walking away from that path. And boy, the devil rewarded me for my choice. And he gave me everything that the world had to offer, and it was fun and it was empty in the same breath. And after, I guess, about a decade of that, my soul was weary, and I finally found my way back to God. And right when I found my way back to God, literally about 2 weeks after that, I went on vacation to Joshua Tree, or to Palm Springs actually. But when we were in Palm Springs, I wanted to get the whole family out to go to Joshua Tree to go there. And
now, when you say the whole family, it's extended family.
it's my wife, my 2 kids, my brother-in-law, my sister, and their 2 kids. And so we all went there and went to Joshua Tree. And
now, are there any trees at Joshua Tree?
There are. They're called Joshua trees.
But it's about rocks.
It's a stark, barren place that with just a bunch of boulders just randomly piled on top. And when I was there, I brought my 7-year-old son and I away to go climb some of those boulders. And I went up to about 75 feet up the desert floor with my son. And at that point, just to really condense it short, I ended up falling off a cliff about 4.5 stories, landing head first on the rocks below.
We have a picture of the rock, or the rocks, at the very point where the accident occurred. And they're unique boulders, aren't they?
Yeah, they're all, in fact, you can't see, in fact, I'm looking at it right now, you can't see the depth perception because those rocks are actually much larger than it looks, and you're actually kind of farther away.
And you don't rappel, you don't use picks.
No, as you can see,
anything.
it's kind of just thrown randomly together, and if you kind of look at the screen from the left to the right is how my son and I kind of crawled up the rocks, and we got near the very, very top, but what happened was I ended up smashing my knee on some rocks up there, and I ended up falling not down the easy way that I climbed up, but off of the cliff on the side where my sister and brother-in-law and my wife from the desert floor saw me doing a dead somersault in the air, and then heard the impact because they were still on the desert floor. I landed about 30 feet up.
Is this you on the cover?
That is me, yes.
It is you?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not an actual picture of
reenactment. No,
a true reenactment, yes.
Yeah. Down you went. I don't know. I do want to go here.
Okay.
It's easy to assume that you stumbled or lost your footing or one of a number of things that could happen, none of which would be true about this fall. Your brother-in-law, who was a very committed Christian, actually had a sense of an ominous sense, an oppression, a sense of danger before anything happened. And he immediately got the children with him to get off the rocks. It was so pervasive and so unsettling.